Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Frank here. Last time we made the tool to cut internal splines for the new speed control lever for the forklift, and today I'm hoping to finish that project off, or at least make major progress on it. As I mentioned last episode, I don't have a set of pin gauges, but I thought I could use drill bits to measure, to kind of get an idea of the internal bore. So this goes in most of the way. So this is 15-30 seconds. 15-30 seconds, 0.4688. It's a little bit tight. The next one is 0.4844, and that's actually too large to fit in. And we measured 0.470. So I think the 0.47. All right, so at 0.4688, this goes in part way, but not all the way. So it's, and then of course this is too large. So the 0.4688, which is what this is, we measured 0.470 with the internal bore gauge. So that's going to be our target. So I'm going to actually drill it with the 0.46 with this one, which is the 15-30 seconds, and then we'll come back and see about enlarging it either with a reamer. I have some adjustable reamers, which I can potentially get dead on, or I can use a boring bar to get to 0.470. So let's go ahead and drill it with the 15-30 seconds. As with most drills, they drill a hole a little bit larger than the stated bit diameter. Let me get my bore gauge and let's check this before we make any changes to it. All right, so that's showing 0.473 bore. Point 0.471. So I'm going to call that good, just like that. Our target was 0.47, so that's where it should be. All right, I'm going to go ahead and chamfer this, cut some chamfers on the edges. Let's do that. So here's our blank. Here we are at the shaper, and I've got the spin indexer with a collet, and right now I have an end mill in order to get a accurately machined shank here to do my alignment. So I've got a fixture plate bolted to the table and the indexer clamped to the fixture plate. I spent some time yesterday getting it set up. Let me get you a little closer here to show you what the arrangement is. So here's the tool clamped in the tool post, and it's at an angle, and you'll see why it's at this angle in a minute. I have a collet in the collet holder here, and this isn't the collet we're going to use. This is I think this is a 3/4 collet because that's the shank on this end mill. And the indexer lets you rotate the collet in 1-degree increments. So it's got 36 increments around this disc, and then like a vernier scale it's got 10 more increments here. So we can increment the disc and the collet in 1-degree increments. So we can do it every 15 degrees. So of course this handle is what tightens the collet, and it also turns the indexer. So I'll turn it. You can see I'm turning the end mill. Okay. And when I do that, well, I've got this pin in here. That doesn't help. When I do that, it turns this disc. Okay. Turning the handle. Turns the disc. So I've aligned the indexer with the ram, and hence the motion of the tool, pretty closely. So by operating the ram manually, you can move the dial indicator back and forth along the shaft. Now it's only set for 1.5 inches of travel, but that's all we need. And I can give you see with the dial indicator that each increment on here is 1/2 thousandth. So we're pretty close in the horizontal plane. All right, so you can see how the dial indicator is on the top of the end mill shank. It's pretty close. So I'm happy with the alignment here of all right, so that's the collet and the end mill. All right, so we're going to be using a 1-inch collet with our blank in it. The reason this is at an angle so that this tool post clears the indexer as the ram moves. The cutter's set up now. It's centered in the bore. It clears the bore. And the cutter bit is on the bottom right here. And it is not touching inside the bore at this point. I may need to adjust the stroke a bit. I think I will. All right, I want to adjust the stroke to get the cutter further into the workpiece. There we go. So that gives me about a quarter or 3/16. All right, so I should start cutting the spline there and stop there. Okay. I didn't show it on camera, but I went back and took the workpiece out, put it back in the lathe, and drilled clearance hole on the back side of it, 1/2 inch. And then using that with the diameter, minor diameter of the bore, of the existing handle, and the 1/2 inch clearance bore on the back side of the workpiece, works out to about 15 thousandths depth of cut on the splines. So that's what we're going to target here. And I've got the belts adjusted here for the slowest speed. And I'm getting ready to turn the shaper on and just let it run for a minute. Okay, so that looks like about the speed I want. Alright, just felt the first cut there. Alright, so I'm going to say 35 is my starting point here. So we'll go from 35 to 50. Alright, got the cutter backed out. Let's rotate 15 degrees. So I'm at 0 and 0. So I want to go to 1, 0.5. Alright. Yep, start cutting right there. And I'm incrementing it. Right now, I'm just doing about 1/1000th at a time. So now it will go to 30 degrees, so back to 0 here, and 3 on here. Okay, so you can see that this is my center indexing mark, and I'm at 45 degrees, halfway between 40 and 50. All right, so next one we're going to go to is 60 degrees. So pull this pin, we go back to 0, and when the 6 comes around to this point, the pin goes into this disc. So that's 60 degrees. So my starting point is 35. So I'm basically going in 1 or 2 thousandths at a time. $45. Get to 50, 51. Let it run for a couple of spring passes. And then I back it out of the spline. I go back to 10, and that takes care of, there's about 12 degrees of backlash, so that really brings me close to 25. Of course, my cut starts at 35. All right, back on the dial, so I pulled the pin. We're at 60, I'm going to 75. So we rotate it to 7, put the pin in the 5 slot, put a little bit of pressure on it. There, it snaps in at 75. Okay. There you can see the spline being cut as we rotate. All right, let's see. Next one is 105. Probably should have done this sooner here, but get some cutting oil in there. Okay. We're at 120. Well, the cutting oil made a difference. I could feel the difference. So, should have done that from the beginning, but we'll go with that from now on. All right, you guys, got a couple of dogs in here that are chasing each other, playing. And Brew coming in here for protection from the bully Butchie. All right, you guys go back outside. Go on. Go on outside. Go on. Go on. Go on outside. Go on.
Is Butchie bullying you? Huh? You guys just playing. Just running around playing.
Alright, we're going from 150 to 165. And from 225 to 240. $270. $300. $345. And the final one should be at 360, which really is back to 0, which is where we started. So there should already be a spline there, and looks like there is. So I think we're done. Let's see if we can look at it. All right, looks like the spline is completed in there. We've gone all the way. So I think we're finished cutting. Splines look okay. There we go. May need to get a brush out the internal. Let's go do that. All right, I think it looks good. And we'll see how the spline fits. I think we're good. I think we're good. That's a good fit. The movement there is shaft itself moving. All right, we just need to make a handle to attach to it. So we'll do that next. So I found the center, and I've come in 1/2 inch from the end, and we'll go ahead and drill. This is 13/64. This is the drill size for 1/4 20 thread. All right, so there's our part drilled and tapped. Let's find a set screw for it. I think that looks pretty good. Finish so I coped the tubing on the mill. You saw me do that. There's my brew. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. Yeah, okay. Where's my butchie? There's my butchie boy. All right, brew. Let me pet butchie a little bit. So let's put the handle on the tractor. I think that's perfect. Forward and reverse. Find room. Steer without hitting it. So I'll get a grip to put on this. I thought I had one someplace. Can't lay my hands on it. So the advantage of this spline is you can put it anywhere you want it. Alright folks, that's going to be it for this episode. We finished, got the new speed control handle on the forklift. Doing the internal splines on the shaper worked exactly as I expected. It was a little challenging getting the setup on that small shaper, but everything worked out fine. And once I started cutting the splines, I mean, it was easy. So I'm happy about that. Everything worked out. The tool worked perfectly. So I got no complaints. Mission accomplished, I would say. I hope you learned something. I think I did for sure. Gained some more experience. Enjoyed working with that little shaper. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.